Big news, though. With the intakes this week, well, I guess it would have been Saturday then. Was the last
Gosh.
last
Yeah, because
group,
I didn't have it updated, so I didn't even realize.
So that makes officially 600 dogs that we've rescued.
Holy crap.
Yeah, our spreadsheet is at 601 with a header, so.
Yeah, 600 exactly.
600 exactly.
Oh my dog. Dog. Oh my dog.
Oh, my dog, hey.
Oh, my dog, hello.
We're back.
Back again,
We've been doing some dog rescue type activities.
as always.
Mm-hmm.
Intakes, outtakes are almost even.
Yeah. We didn't slow down terribly, but although it didn't feel like we were going balls to the wall because I feel like I've been so busy with other stuff.
Yeah, you've been doing your real life shit.
Yeah, it's been crazy, but we did have a lot of action nonetheless.
And we had a kind of a group of intakes.
Well,
that all
that's
came
true.
At once, so
Yeah, that's true. That helps with the work.
the counts.
Yeah.
But anyway, what else has been going on before we hop right into that?
Yeah.
The weather has been freaking phenomenal.
I have to tell your audience
Yeah,
that you inspired us
Ooh.
at Farm for Profit.
Ooh.
Over the last couple of days, we installed a mailbox so our fans can send us.
You know, when I pulled in here, I didn't
I haven't
see
got
the mailbox.
shit in the P.O. box
I was going to
lately.
ask, what the heck?
I even
well,
checked today.
Should we P.O. Box PSA right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want to be featured on the premier dog rescue podcast of the Midwest,
send a postcard to P.O. Box 33,
Madrid, Iowa
50156.
We'll read it, and Holly will file it away in her shoebox where she keeps all of her stuff that she gets in the mail.
I've actually had to start a new shoebox.
I wondered how you were just in a shoebox.
Is full. Cannot take one more postcard.
I have to send you a picture of because I collect like old mail, like mostly like war letters. I really like that, and because I like to read. I'm nosy, and I like to read people's business even if they're dead, you know?
So when I go hunt for postcards, like at antique stores and swap sites and things like that, like a lot of them have already been written on, which is not my niche.
That's the ones I like.
Yeah, I don't, because I've read so many, and eventually they all start sounding the same, like, hey, the weather, like, there's never any...
Oh, I've got some juicy gossip.
There's never, not in postcards.
No, not in a postcard. Well, that's out for the world to see. Well, there might be
just stopped at the Black Hills, and
right.
You'll never believe.
I mean, it's all, the weather's fine, and we're doing great, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
There was an orgy up by George Washington's face. Yeah. It could be really juicy. You don't know.
I'm very much for the non-canceled postcards, because I like to send them myself.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, I haven't gotten anything in the P.O. box since 2 weeks ago when we got the stuffies.
Which,
puppy.
By the way.
Yes. Tell them.
Tell them. We tested them out. I was like, so Dolores is our pug who's a psychopath, but also I believe was taken away from her mother far too young because she's like not fully developed in her frontal lobe. But
she may have had a lobotomy. Who knows? Either or.
She, however, has to sleep. She has to have some sort of stuffy that she literally puts her mouth on and, like, you know, Cam calls it nursing on, but, you know, whatever she's doing, she's going to, like, suckle on
Does
it.
she?
Yeah. And every night she has to do that, and she has to find just the right animal or whatever. So I, of course, took one of these home. I was like, well, I got to test this out on Dolores to see, like, if it helps. And she loved it. She immediately was like, yes, that is what I want. That's mine. So she took one of them, and, Cam will turn it on, and she goes to sleep with it. It's been great.
I tried it with my kids, and they didn't give two shits.
Oh, my God. Dolores lost her mind. But have we given a couple to Natasha
I
yet?
gave two.
We got to see.
At least two to Natasha.
Well, those puppies are shitting everywhere, so hopefully they didn't poop all over it.
They're going through a transition phase for sure.
Well, they get pulled from mom, and then they get different food, different water, different all the things, and
they're growing little.
And I'm here to say, from someone who's raised litters of puppies, they just do that sometimes.
Yeah,
when they get into the gruel, it's disgusting. I don't ever want to do it again.
Which, speaking of, if you are interested in fostering,
Yes.
if you are an approved OMD foster, if you're interested in being a puppy foster, we really only have the one
Yeah.
foster, which is Natasha, and that's only because she's psychotic
Insane.
enough to do it.
She has an entire room in her home that's the puppy room, and she got
Right.
all this paraphernalia and set up like a puppy
Yeah.
play world.
Which, full disclosure, you don't need to have that to do
I've
this
done it with a
successfully.
kiddie pool and a fence.
It's not a big deal. If you're interested in doing puppies, it's highly rewarding. It is a instant count boost if you're
Yeah.
keeping track because you're taking in 5 or 6 at a time.
Yeah.
And there is quite a need for it because
We have to turn
there's-
it away all the time because
yeah.
we don't have enough puppy people.
in fact, right now, well, just recently this week there was a group of dogs. It was like a hoarding situation, and they were Chiweenies, and one of them was pregnant. Now, we've talked about this before. If the pregnancy is not that far along, we will opt to abort. And if you want any more information on how we feel about that, you can go back to that last episode. But
Yeah.
the issue is having somebody that has the ability to take in a pregnant
Yeah.
foster and then see the puppies through. And what we have found is the pregnant foster is no big deal.
No.
I mean,
Easy.
it's really just monitoring, knowing the signs, which Natasha would be happy to walk you through. We'll be happy to walk you through that
I've
as
been
well.
through it a couple times. I love that part. I
Yeah.
like when they give birth, and I love like the immediate after, and like all of that is incredible. Like the first few weeks after a mom gives birth is like my favorite, and then it gets to be my least favorite very quickly.
But that's not to deter anybody. It's just
No, it's just my
it's
personal
just
preference, but
if you've got the right setup and you know the right things, it's I mean, they naturally have the instinct to take care of this stuff themselves.
yeah,
So it's really just being aware of when something isn't right
right.
and being able to address it quickly when you need to. And we're here for you on that. Natasha's here for you on that. So if you're interested, we would love to onboard at least one more puppy foster.
Yeah, we're not looking to get into
Litter
the puppy
foster, I
game
guess.
per se, but we hate to have to turn them away if we had somebody that was willing to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, Natasha, as crazy as she is, she would probably take on more than one litter at once. I know she would. 'Cause
Well,
she's
she
already
almost
signed up for
did.
this one. Yeah. But we're trying to keep that marriage, solid and stable.
We're not ready to divorce Zaddy yet, and so we need to keep him.
We do
around.
not have a budget line item for divorce lawyers. So
No.
anyway, if you're interested in that, just let us know, and we would love to get you set up and get you all the things and get you through your first couple and see how it does.
And speaking of which, and I know we talked about this on the last episode that we had that litter puppies, but we can go ahead and share at least their names because it's
Yeah, so when we take in large groups or litters, we kind of like to do a theme just to
keep them all together. Then we know
have
it.
fun with it too.
Right, like the Goonie
yeah.
puppies.
So Natasha was trying to find a theme. I was like, do a serial killer theme.
Like we're all white women here. We all love a good serial killer.
So we had 5 intakes, puppy. Well, we had 12 intakes total. 5 of them are puppies.
Yes.
And they are Gacy, which is
John Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy, of course. Dahmer, obviously. Gunnis, which is the last 3 are females, so they're probably less familiar to the general population because obviously the ratio to male to female serial killers is like 90 to 90-10.
Yeah.
But anyway, Gunnis, Dyer, and Holmes.
Well, Holmes is actually a male, but I think we used it for a female name, right? Because it's H.H. Holmes, right? Unless there's a female Holmes serial killer.
You're the one that suggested that.
That's a man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Look up H.H. Holmes. It's like my favorite serial killer, apart from Alfred Fish, but he's really messed up, like to the point where I wouldn't name a puppy after him, you know?
Listen, I started watching the Dahmer
it's wild.
documentary, or not
The
documentary.
docu-series, like the
docu-series,
the guy.
like drama series, whatever, on
drama
Netflix.
series.
And I'd maybe had one too many cocktails when I started watching that because
Did
I
you
got
have
like
a nightmare?
I got like through the first episode. I was like, I think I need to maybe watch a rom-com because I'm getting a little panic attacky.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
I mean, that's some sketch shit.
Well, he wouldn't have gone after you anyway. You weren't his type.
not cute enough or too cute?
To female. To female. You're a woman. You're a woman.
Yeah, the whole strangulation thing, it's wild. I think people underestimate the effort that it takes.
Oh, I go on.
And these docuseries absolutely dramatize it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like a
violent.
10-second thing, and I'm like,
It
no,
takes minutes
it's not
to
a
strangle
10-second
someone.
thing. It's like a 20-minute thing.
Yeah,
like
it's
a
a long-
constant 20-minute thing.
You'd be real tired after strangling someone. Like, that's a
Honestly.
lot of work.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
you got a lot of.
Anyway, not to make light of serial killers or anything like that, but we all know that the people of Rescue are just crazy enough to probably listen also to the true crime podcast that we know and love, and so we kind of thought that would be a good theme. And no one has said anything like, what the heck is wrong with you, or anything like that, so that's cool.
Well, if they've been following us this long, they don't need to ask. So that was 5 of them.
Yeah.
The other 7, we got Larry, which was a standard poodle.
Australian Shepherd, but it looks more Australian Shepherd than Doodle Poodle.
Absolutely.
It's hideous.
It just got adopted today.
I can say that. I'm so happy for the person who adopted, who is so excited. She messaged every possible place and
Who
called.
was I talking to about this the other day? Oh, Jenny, our friend Jenny.
Yeah.
Because I was telling her about, because she's adopting a dog from us next week. This week, actually, Thursday.
I can't believe that. I love it.
And we were talking about the adoption process and whatever, and we were talking about Winona getting adopted, which we'll talk about in a hot minute. And I said, well, all fosters are different in how they perceive potential adopters. I said, me personally, I want the adopter to be so excited that they can't hardly even wait to get this dog in their hands. Kara, on the other hand, is a little on the opposite side. If you come at Kara too aggressively, she's turned off.
You're to the bottom of my list. I don't have time for that. Well, and it's the multiple channels for me. It's like you applied 10 minutes ago, and you've now called, emailed, messaged our Facebook, then circled back, texted, emailed again, got a new account on Facebook so that you could message again to just say that person that you like, my God.
Right. Just want to make sure you got my message.
We got it, please. And I'm always like lightly rude, but like just nice enough to be like, we are all volunteers. Please give us time. Thank you for your patience. We received your application. Like,
right.
Leave me alone. And then they keep checking back in. I'm like, I cannot.
It's like the people that call, leave a voicemail, then send you a text telling you they left a voicemail.
Left a voicemail, yeah.
Like I don't
have anyone like that in my phone on
listening
purpose.
to the voicemail at all. So why don't you just text me?
Yeah.
I have to read the voicemail. I know at work I have, just like on our cell phones, if somebody leaves me a message, it sends me like the transcript or whatever.
Which I love, by the way.
The best thing ever, because I do not want to listen to 4 minutes of somebody telling me that they can't get their email to work or whatever, And so I call them back and I'm like, I did not listen to your voicemail. What can I help you with?
But I would much rather have somebody hounding me than somebody ghost me.
Well, no. A ghost is also an immediate bottom of the list, but it's
yeah, but you have to go through it to get there. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, true.
It's a waste of time to get there,
I just hate tenacious people.
I love you. We are an equal employment adopting agency.
Go ahead and roll the dice and see who's fostering the dog you're interested in and decide if you want to be crazy or not.
Java.
Oh, this was a weird one. So it was somebody who is a coworker of one of our fosters is going through some health issues and then a housing issue and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, they had to rehome their dog. So I kind of boosted them to the top of the list because they had a connection with an active foster home and they asked for our help. And
I haven't heard much out of Stacy lately. She must be channeling you directly.
Yeah. She's been texting me.
Talk to me too.
Yeah, the heck. She's been texting me because I think first of all, has anyone else experiencing this? And I know I'm like one of the few people that does this, but like I manage most of my Facebook Messenger on my computer because I'm in front of my computer.
Yeah, I'm not, so I'm all phone constantly.
It's not working. So like
yours isn't, and mine was screwed up for a hot minute, but yours has been screwed up for a while. I think maybe you should update your computer or something because
it is updated. It's brand new. I just got this computer, but I will send a message and push enter, walk away. and it's nowhere to be found. Like, it never even freaking happened.
That did happen to me today, actually.
And
Now
then,
that you say that.
and then I'll see a message, and I know that there's new messages because they're popping up on my phone, but they don't
No.
show up on my computer. And then I have to refresh, and like 24 hours later, they'll show up.
Get your shit together, Meta.
Ugh.
Honestly.
Terrible. But anyway, I think she has resorted to text messaging me because I can't see anything during the day. It's terrible.
Rude.
Anyway,
That's a golden doodle.
yeah,
Java.
it's a little one though. It's like a 25-pound golden doodle. But the weird thing was, it came from a person, so we expected it to be like,
Socialized?
no. She's like, it's worse than a breeder dog. And I'm like,
Ooh.
oh no, what was happening there? But Java did get adopted. Java had like 20 applications. And the picture, well, the picture of it is horrible. It's like a matted ass dog. And then after it got shaved, I didn't want to update the picture because it looked even uglier. And then still, with the mattedness, and she put like a hair tie in its hair so we could even see its eyes for the picture, still like 20 apps. And she had to go through all of these. And most of them were not appropriate because the dog is like neurotic and can't be like in an apartment or, whatever. It had to have like a very specific home. But I think she found it. But anyway, she said it was terrible.
What kind of situation it came from?
I don't know. She said it was like one of the worst that she's had, and she's had several breeder
She
released.
has had a lot.
So, I don't know. It was weird.
Tony Danza. Okay,
Hold
go
me
ahead.
closer, Tony Danza. That's why I named him that, because he's a tiny dancer. So this was one where a networker tagged us in the post, and I saw the video, and I was like, that's a nice dog. Like, and also it had like short little legs, which I like.
What is it?
I think it's
Because it looked really similar to the other one that we recently had.
Yeah, I think
Stumpy.
I think it's a flat-coated retriever, like corgi mix, perhaps, something like that.
Could be.
But it's like an all-black, long-hair dog with short legs, essentially, and he is perfect.
Super cute.
Super cute, super nice. Bring him to the dog park. He goes up to every human he's never met. He's their best friend. Doesn't really care too much about the other dogs, but doesn't dislike them. He just would rather go see the people. But he also has been adopted, and he gets neutered tomorrow, and then he goes home.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Gremlin and Allie Ann came in together.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about these two specifically on the next podcast next week.
But just as a high level, they're two Frenchies, and it's quite the tale.
Absolute
Stay
shit
tuned
show.
and come back next time because I want to talk about everything that went down with them as French Bulldogs coming into rescue. We do get French Bulldogs, and it's for a reason because there's some bad breeding practices going on out there because the French Bulldog, as we may all well know, has surpassed the Lab as the #1 dog in America for popularity.
I don't get it.
Which is insane.
I don't get it.
Yes.
I don't get it.
#1.
All.
And they
Not
can't
even a
even
little
give
bit.
birth naturally.
They are so medically
C-section.
challenged. They've got to be at top of the list for the
Most expensive
dogs to own.
So
ever,
expensive.
Period. And
Yeah.
actually, I verified that with the receptionist at Boone Vet last week when I took Stanley in, because I told him about these Frenchies that we had, and she gave me the look, and I'm like, yeah, I know. Anyway.
Yeah, well, we're going to dive into all of their ins and outs because we're going to talk a little bit about some Frenchies and things Frenchie like in our next episode.
Xena, Puppy Princess, is in and out.
Yeah, which I didn't expect.
I didn't expect this either. So my friend Jenny, our friend Jenny, we're actually going to go down to Key West and go to her wedding.
Which we need to reschedule one of our podcast recordings because we're going to be in Key West.
Yeah.
We're going to just destroy that place.
This.
We deserve this.
Two middle-aged white women. We needed this. We're going to be on that flight from Des Moines to Charlotte. I don't give a shit.
Drunk before you leave Des Moines.
Yes, for sure.
I don't even
At
care.
7 a.m. or whatever the time of flight is.
Make it a double.
Yes.
Because
ma'am.
Key West is going to need it when we land.
We deserved this.
Oh my God.
It's going to be fun. But Jenny's getting married. She's like the kindest human I've ever met. And
she's also obviously psychotic because she's adopting this Great Pyrenees. Is it a mix?
No, it's a Great Pyrenees.
I told her that. I was like, Jenny, listen.
Are you sure you want this thing?
Are you sure? And Jenny is such a sweet person, but she overthinks everything. If I say something to her, she's going to take it 10 different ways. So I have to be very explicit.
I got to be careful because I say lots of stuff.
I know. I do it all the time. I finally told her last week, I'm like, you're going to have to get a thicker skin or I'm not going to be able to tell you anything anymore. Just because of my demeanor
Yeah.
and the way that I talk. Like, I'm just going to tell you
Well,
exactly what I'm thinking. I don't have a filter.
kills me is I have some friends that I've been friends with for 20 years, and they'll say, I still think about that time you said
Oh my God.
I look bad in bangs. And I was like, Jesus Christ. First of all, I said you look bad in bangs. I was probably on something. And second of all, like,
It was the
who
truth.
cares?
And you're
also,
welcome.
It was true. So you're welcome.
I'm
But
her only friend that looks good in bangs.
it is true. No one else.
Anyway, I told Jenny, I said, this Great Pyrenees, it's 2 years old, so you've got a whole ass decade ahead of you
Yeah.
of this shit. So I just, don't overthink what I'm saying. I'm not deterring you from adopting. If you fall in love, you fall in love, and that's that. That's cool. That's fine. But I just want you to, like, this is a lot of fucking dog.
Yeah.
For quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Are you cool with that? Because I can't be friends with you if you surrender this dog back to us.
Not to lay any pressure down.
But for real.
We don't want it back.
No.
So.
But
the dog was living in like a tiny apartment before this, which is why they ended up surrendering it. And I have to assume she's got a little more space than that.
She has a house and it has a backyard, but it's like every other suburbia.
Well, better than
mean,
an
it's
apartment.
a
They're gonna have to
backyard
walk
just,
that dog and
you
give it
know.
a job.
Cool. If you're cool with it, I'm cool with it. I'm just trying to be a responsible rescue here and just say, hey,
Are
this is
you
a lot
sure?
of goddamn dog.
Yeah.
But I told her straight up, I said, I'm very biased when it comes to large breed dogs because I am not a large breed dog person. I'm just not. I
Yeah.
know that about myself. It's no offense to large dog. I have a German Shepherd, like, and I'm counting the days.
Yeah.
Like,
He's the least.
I love him.
favorite
He's a
child.
great dog. It was Aaron's dog, and I've kept him. I kept my word, and that's that. But I will never own another German Shepherd.
No.
Ever.
No.
In my life, I will never own a large breed dog ever again in my life, ever. I will put $1 million on that right now. So anyway, I told her that. I said, I'm very biased, so don't take it personally, but I just want you to,
Be aware.
think about this. Anyway, so
She's
Xena,
thought about it, and
Xena's going home on
she
Thursday.
going doing it.
Speaking of large breeds,
The dude. First of all, I have, and I think they listen to the podcast. I think they're actually like listening weekly, and if they're like not, they catch up. My aunt and uncle up in Hampton, they listen. So I have to call her out. Aunt Debbie has apparently started Oh My Dog North because she has
absolutely. I'm here for
well,
all
she's
of that.
retired, but she sent me a message because she was a teacher.
Okay.
And one of her students, who is the daughter of one of her good friends, had a purebred lab who was young, and the daughter, first big girl job, traveling everywhere and having a really hard time keeping up with this young lab that she got, and was really spent a lot of time thinking about it and couldn't figure out how to make it work, and so asked for help. And so of course my aunt's friend, her mother, was talking to my aunt, and my aunt's like, well, I could reach out to Kara and see if they can help. And Black Lab came in and out. That was Nick's.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So wonderful dog, very well trained, very well loved, and is going to be a great companion for the folks that adopted her. But then recently I get this email that's like, hi, I'm good friends, or I'm your wonderful Aunt Debbie's hairdresser. And I was like, oh, good Lord, what is she doing? And apparently she had asked about that her sister was like dying in hospice or something and had lived a really hard life and had these couple of dogs. And one of them was a Catahoula pit bull.
So Kara sends this picture over.
And I was like, I am helping this dog.
Yeah. And I immediately said, is that a Catahoula? And she goes, yes it is. And I said, instant PTSD. Do what you want. I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this thing is a tank.
Oh,
it's obviously not purebred.
No, he's a big boy, and he's He just turned 16 years old on the 15th.
That was another reason I kind of bended a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, we're like, it's fine. He's 16. How much time does he have left?
2-year Catahoula,
No,
2-year-old Catahoula,
absolutely
and a
not.
16-year-old Catahoula. Two completely
Very,
different dogs.
very different. This boy is chill, and he has been living in a single wide trailer. And this comes from the sister, so she told me single wide trailer, windows that don't open. Her sister chain smoked. This dog has emphysema.
Oh my god.
But he's 16. But the husband, when he was there, they're the kindest people ever.
You should probably do a study on him, honestly.
Right. Why is he still alive? But the husband said that since they got him out of the trailer and has been staying, I don't know if their house or a boarding place while they were waiting for us. Breathing better. When they went to go pick him up, he was unable to stand. Now he's like running around the yard. It's like a complete recuperation of his lungs being out of it. Crazy.
He's 107 pounds, too.
And he's 107 pounds.
What do you think he should be? Maybe like 80?
90.
80,
Yeah.
85,
90. Yeah.
Okay.
The sister who brought him up right away, as soon as they said, I got a spot, can you be here tomorrow? She's like, yep.
Yeah.
They drove him right down. And they got him on a really good dog food. And they said, of course, he was eating crap before. It was just kind of a bad deal.
So my neighbor, Jane, who we've mentioned on this podcast before, she had been looking for a pit bull mix because she had a pit bull mix at one time that was like the love of her life, her heart dog.
Yes.
And she messaged me this morning and was like, hey, what's the deal with the dude? Does he still need a spot? And I was like, yeah, I think we need to transfer him. The foster home he's in right now, it's just not really working out, so we're going to transfer him. Are you interested? And she's like, yes, absolutely. We're just filling out the application and need a personal reference, like winky face. Like
to adopt?
Yeah.
Oh my God. How about you just foster him?
I'm like, Jane, you don't need to apply. Like, you're an approved foster.
Just take him.
You're an approved adopter. So then she's like, well, could you call me real quick? I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you know me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, so I call her right away, of course. And I said, well, why don't, she goes, well, what happens if he gets here and like, because he's 16 and our kids are younger and like, what if it doesn't work out? And I said, why don't you just foster
him
and see if it works out? And if it works out, then you can be a foster fail. And her husband, David's in the background. I can hear him yelling across the kitchen saying, I don't like to be called a failure.
Okay, a foster win.
And I was like, well, in this case, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let's just roll it and see how the tape plays out. It'll be fine.
Yeah, he's gotten along fine with the other dogs in the home. He kind of grumbled at one of the more sprightly ones at first, but it was doing fine by the time I last heard. And they said the only time he has ever had an incident with another dog, which my dogs would have done this exact same thing, he was out in his yard, tied out, and a stray dog came up at him, and they got into a tussle. Well, duh.
Well, yeah.
Of course he's going to protect himself and his home and all the things, so.
And the current foster said that she's had a hard time getting him to come inside.
Because he just wants to be in
he wants
the fresh air.
And Jane and David.
He smelled of, like, cigarettes, so, like, bad.
Like, give him a bath. He's probably got nicotine soaked into his
coat. He's definitely stained. Like, I'm not even kidding. He's gross.
And Jane and David live on a farm.
Yeah.
And so
he's going to lose his mind.
Oh my God, he's going to have such a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're
I
gonna be
love
great.
this. I love it.
But David, that was so funny.
Anyway.
I don't like to be called a failure.
Well, and then my aunt, when I called her out on this whole thing, she goes, I promise I'm not going to do this again. And I was like, what? You can let people know that, I can help if we can help. But it was just funny because she'd never done that before, and it was like 2 right in a row where she's like, hey, maybe my niece can help.
Yeah. It always happens like that.
It does.
It happens like that even with rescue to rescue or, like we had with Aaron or Kelly. Like, they always come
back
in batches.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you don't hear from people for a while, and then they come back around. You got 2 or 3 right in a row.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
So big news though. With the intakes this week, and I guess it would have been Saturday then. Was the last?
Gosh.
Last
because
group,
I didn't have it updated, so I didn't even realize.
So that makes officially 600 dogs that we've rescued.
Holy
Yeah, our spreadsheet is at 601 with a header, so
Yeah, 600 exactly.
600 exactly.
Wow.
That is wild.
So cool.
That is wild. So today's the night. Well, it would have been. I think our first one was January 19th, wasn't it? Or January 17th was Jet.
Oh, let me tell you.
Jet was
I gotta.
January 15th.
It takes a lot of scrolling to get back to number 1.
2024, 2025. So January, February, March, April, May. So in 28 months, almost 28 months exactly, we did 600 dogs.
Oh my gosh, that's so
That is
fun.
wild.
And I feel like we have these
It's 21 dogs a month. So one every one. Well, okay. So go ahead, talk on. Let me do some math here. Bring out the
somebody get her beautiful mind board
beautiful
out.
mind board.
She's doing equations, but that is
840.
that's
days,
wild.
100.
We do really need a
1.4.
real-time mathematician here, because
works out.
if we are in the 5th month of this year and we kept up at this same pace of a dog every 1.5 days,
Well,
I'm just saying.
I mean, our first year, yeah, I don't.
Well, the first year we hit 200, right? Is that
yeah,
our
and
number?
then the second year we had 275 or
Something like that. Shy of 3, yeah.
Well done, us.
Yay!
Well done, all of you.
Oh my goodness, so much. I told my aunt when she was messaging me back, and she was like, "You guys are changing the world and doing so much good," and said such kind things. And I said, "It is really great, and I think I'm more proud of the community that we've created than what I'm doing personally, because I don't even hardly foster anymore because I've got Psychopath in the basement being a monster dog."
Yes, please clarify it's a dog.
Well, it's my husband too. They hang out together.
So currently this year, from January 15th of this year to now, we're at 113 dogs, which is every 1.3 days. So we're tracking a little slightly behind.
Yeah. Which I would believe
0.1
because
behind.
that sounds right. Because we haven't had as
We're
many
right on
litters of
track.
puppies and things like that so far.
So in 5 months, we've had 113. Anyway,
X
113
equals
divided by 5 is
MC dog
22,
saved.
22.6 per month. Should be about 271, 270 for this year.
We'll hit
Keep the same
300
pace.
because we're going to do a big boost month when I'm feeling manic, so it'll be good.
When you're feeling manic. When are you not feeling manic? I would rather like to know.
I kind of felt like this month I've been pretty
You've been distracted.
slow.
You've been distracted. You've been manic in your real big girl job.
Anyway, all of our intakes, and we talked about a few outtakes. I have to say, my favorite adoption that has happened of all time in Oh My Dog history took place.
It's kind of a competition, really, though. I mean, I know what you're going to say. I know you're about to do it, and you deserve it. You really do. But I'm just saying, there's also another adoption in this group that we never thought would come.
That's true. It's equally great. But this one
is very, very good.
very, very special.
Proceed.
If you have not already, this is my plug to listen to the hot dog episode.
Oh my God.
The hot dog episode is where we introduced Finn McCool. Finn McCool is a 3 to 4-year-old deaf white boxer. He was completely psychotic the first time we met him, to the point we were like, we'll do our best, but we don't know if we can do anything about this dog.
We drove away from there, and we were a block and a half away, and I said, immediate behavioral euthanasia. Like, no question. I'm down.
And I said, no, he has
That dog was
potential.
psychotic.
Yes, I said, he has got potential. I did not see a mean bone in his body. Is he completely unaware of what to do with his paws? And he's
Unhinged.
insane, unhinged, like mouth, teeth, body everywhere, horrible, unadoptable at this very moment? Yes. But can we do this given the appropriate resources? Yes. And his foster did a really great job of getting him. He's so smart. This dog is very smart.
She did actually exceptionally well,
We
which
thought
I
she
had
was
not anticipated.
No, we thought she was never going to be able to handle it because she's such a small and very anxious and soft person. And this dog needed like a me,
Yeah.
But she did her very best and taught him a ton of tricks and taught him how to heel with the help of Clint Knox from Knox Canine Training.
Mhm.
They did a lot of virtual sessions. Clint actually went over there and had the same hot dog experience, and I'm like, this is not a great idea. He called me and he goes,
Oh my God.
so I went over to
How
help.
has this dog not died from pancreatitis?
I don't know.
Yet? I have no
He
idea.
said, well, I went over to go meet Finn, and I said, did you get a plate of hot dogs? He goes, oh my God. We cackled on the phone. Like, luckily I was parked because I was laughing so hard I was crying. I'm like, yes, we also got the plate of hot dog situation. Like, I've not touched that many hot dogs in my entire lifetime. I did it all in one day. Horrible. But anyway, we were cackling about that. And at that time, I think he thought the same thing that we thought, was that this dog's going to have to get moved to another foster to be successful. But my God, that little woman was tenacious, and she did it. Not without a few late night calls of, I can't do this anymore and all that kind of stuff, but she did it. And here's what happened. He had never had another application. He received an application, and I almost like passed out. It's as though I had written an application that was like just for him. So these people, about 5.5 hours away in Kansas, live in rural Kansas. They have 18 acres all to themselves with a farmhouse. They have a mowed path around their whole property for walking their dog and all this stuff. They had a deaf white boxer who they adopted, who was psychotic when they got her, ended up being the greatest dog of their lifetime, passed away 2 weeks ago, and both her and her husband one day texted each other and said, I did a bad thing, and the other one said, me too. And they said, I've been looking online. And the other one said, me too. And they came across Finn.
They both did?
Yes.
Separately?
Yes.
Shut up.
Yes.
Get out of here.
Yes. They applied, and I called them immediately. Well, I sent them a text message, and then we
Don't be too eager,
I
Kara.
was too eager. I was the crazy.
She's exactly what she hates.
I know. There's only room for one of us in the boat. But I texted her right away and I said, hey, anytime this weekend that you're free, I'm happy to talk about Finn. She goes, well, I'm free right now if you want to give me a call. So I played it cool for 20 minutes. And then I called her and I gave her the everything. What Chris Wells would say, give him the good, the bad, the ugly.
Right.
I did it.
Yeah.
I said, when I first met him, he was psychotic to the point.
And addicted to hot dogs.
And addicted to hot dogs. Suffering from a severe pork NATO. Very food motivated, but it's more dog treats now. She did incredible. She actually created an entire video library of all of his hand signals.
The foster.
Yeah, what he knew and all of this stuff. And so, anyway, I told the owners all the good, bad, the ugly. I said, listen, he's made huge progress. And I said, and he is a huge work in progress.
Right.
Like, he needs a lot of work still. He's not perfect, blah, 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 blah. So they said, that's cool. That's great. We're in. Let's do it. We want a project. We're ready to do this again. We're ready to jump in. We're ready to train. We know what to do. We know all the signals. We're ready.
Certifiable.
Yeah, we're insane. We're ready to go. They have no other pets. It was just going to be them concentrating solely on him. Okay. So we set up the date and time. I asked Clint if we could use his facility and do one last training session with Finn, with the new owners there, which we did. And we met. And I got there a little before everybody else and met them because they were early because they were so excited. And they've driven 4 hours or 5 hours. And so we get inside and Finn is
Bottom of a hot dog.
Gosh darn it. That was a missed opportunity. Totally missed out on that.
Taking him to a ball game.
Oh
Something.
He would have lost his mind. All those other people's hot dogs. He probably would have been arrested from wiener theft.
Relapse.
I could only be so lucky. He relapsed. Oh, God.
I told her, though, so I got there before everybody else to meet her, and I said, I was telling her about the whole backstory and everything, and I said...
About the double fisting wieners?
Well, no, I hadn't told her that part yet. So when we got there, I said, now, I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but Holly and I have a podcast, and there's an episode dedicated to when we met this dog, and it's the hot dogs episode, and I'm going to need you to listen to it. Once you're all settled and you're no longer wanting to, like, question your life's choices, then you need to listen to this. I need to send her the link, in fact. I've been texting with her. Anyway, they get there. Finn does great. We go through a whole training thing. He does all of his tricks. He listens great. And I said, and, his foster is there, and she's still very apprehensive because she's like, you don't know how much work this is. Like, I want to make sure that they know. And I said, you need to meet these people because they're exactly what I would do.
But also, girl, like,
let him go.
Take your shot.
Yeah. She was so nervous. Anyway, in the middle of it, I said, hey, you're not going to like this, but I need you to hand the leash to, the new owner. And her face went, And they stood up, and she started to kind of do it. And Clint goes, Carol, what if you handed the leash to the owner? So I went and grabbed Finn, and Finn freaking loves me. And so he comes bopping up to me, and I hand over the leash, and he...
Because you use hot dog
I rubbed my temples and
rinsing hot dog juice on your clothes before you left the house. I know it.
forget holy water. We're talking hot dog
Hot
water.
I was so trying to figure out a way to put it in.
Put it in. Put it
Oh God. But anyway, I handed the leash over to the woman of the couple, and they did the whole thing. He healed for her, he sat for her, he laid down for her, he did everything. He listened immediately. When he met them, he jumped up. He was licking the face of the new dad and everything.
Well, like, tried to eat mine off, so.
But did you die?
But did you die? Oh,
Did great.
fantastic.
Everything was going good. And I had purchased, because he's really reactive to cars on the road.
Right.
So I
I was
purchased,
supposed to bring you a kennel, and I didn't.
but it was good you didn't, because I ended up going to Walmart, and while I was standing there, I realized I should get one of those more enclosed transport crates. So I got one of those. I put it together in the parking lot, and we stuck it in their car, and I bought a blanket. We covered it in the blanket, and I opened up the door. I said, "Get in, Finn." He hopped in, went straight into the crate. I shut the door. He turned around. He looked a little stressed. I put down the blanket. Quiet. Beautiful. My inner monologue said, oh gosh, you just put Finn in that carrier for 5 hours with his leash on. What if he gets tangled in it? What if his arm gets stuck in the loop? Like, I don't want something bad to happen. That's bad. You shouldn't do that. So I lifted the blanket. I opened the crate. I reached in. I unhooked the leash. Finn exploded, and I am in my whole body kneel because they had the seats down, so my whole body was in there. I'm kneeling down, and the crate's behind me,
Yeah.
So it's me, Finn, in a closed vehicle, and he bursts out of this kennel full force, hits me in the face. I fall back, but I'm like, oh God, I got to get him back in there, And part of the narrative, I think, and is important to say, is I have 1-inch long neon green fingernails right now. They're outrageous. And I was with that, grabbing at the collar, and it was like the whole car was shaking, like in National Lampoons when a bear gets inside and there's hot dogs, And the whole thing is going back and forth. He's literally biting me, but for some reason, it's not going through the skin. He's just biting me as hard as he can. Look, that's the one bruise I have. It's like a tiny little dot. He's biting my hands, but not. He's like, I know it's you, but why are we doing this? So he doesn't want to hurt me because he knows
I
me.
can just see the people standing outside
Yeah.
the car.
So the new adopters are standing outside the door, and Finn is
What do we do?
scream barking, and he has the loudest bark of any dog I've ever heard in my life. He's snarling, scream barking, biting my arm. I'm holding on to him, trying to shove him back in this kennel with all of my might. And so finally, I get a hold of his butt, and I just
shove him in there.
I just grab the back of his butt, and I shove him in, and I slam the door shut, and I get it closed. I drop the blanket down, silent.
Well,
Perfect.
have a nice trip.
So I kneeled down, squatted inside of this vehicle, and I backed myself out. So they're seeing my butt coming out of the vehicle. I turn around. I'm completely covered in sweat and dog slobber. And I brush my hair off my face. I'm like, sorry about that.
That's the only time she's come out of the back of a car all sweaty and not satisfied.
Well, at least in the last 2 decades. Before that, it was different, but.
Oh, Jesus. God.
Oh. I had to, in my car, I was wearing a sports bra underneath a sweatshirt.
Woo!
In my car, I had to take my sweatshirt off, and I was just driving in my sports bra because I was so sweaty from wrangling a white bear in the back of a car. Terrible. But anyway, he got in there. He rode the 5 hours home, did fine.
Well, the nice part is they're far enough away that they're less likely to return him.
Also what I liked about the application. I'm telling you, if I had written an application perfect for him, it would have included at least 5 hours away.
At least.
But they've already sent updates. They've been walking him on their trail. He's doing great. They've got beds out. He's looking out the window. There's not all these people in cars going by that he's stressed about. He's in rural area. It is his ideal situation.
Good for him.
He is set for life.
Good for him.
Yeah.
How old is he?
4.
Nice.
3.5, 4.
He's got a ways ahead of him, though.
Oh, man. But he's got the brightest future ever.
Well, that just goes to show there is some puppy for every puppy.
Holy cow.
It takes a lot of devotion and dedication, and
Yeah.
that's a long-term thought. I mean,
We've had him since beginning of January.
I was gonna say,
and
we've
I've been
had him
over there
since we had
personally.
Winona.
I don't know how long it takes me to get to Woodward, but I've driven over there personally a few times to do some training with him and check in on him and all that stuff because I was like, I am committed. Like, I believe that this dog can, like, do this.
She didn't invite me to any of those sessions.
No, I did not. I told you when I left.
My family doesn't invite me to any of the kids' activities either, and I feel like it's kind of the same thing.
It's like, oh, you have a reactive large
Oh,
dog.
there's a soccer game today. Didn't know about it. Well, that's fantastic.
Anyway, that's been my proudest adoption of this whole
it
freaking
should
thing.
be. It should be. You put in a ton of work and a ton of faith in that whole scenario.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was gonna come out of that. I really didn't. I mean, you had a lot of faith. I didn't, and so I was like, well, it's gonna go one of two ways. I mean, it's what it is.
50-50, just like us.
Shit.
Oh, man. Anyway, so
Another
that's Finn McCool.
fabulous adoption,
Huge.
though.
Big
Lucy
deal.
Lou.
Yes.
She's been with us for a hot minute. She came out of the Ames Animal Shelter.
Marked as a vicious dog for no freaking
Yeah,
reason.
Well, because her owner was an idiot.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's black mix.
Yeah.
So
Nondescript, difficult to place.
100% black dog syndrome, and she was so good.
I mean, she come to the dog park right out the gate, did great, no problems.
It just took these black dogs just take a while.
They do.
And she's in that weight class too.
Yes. She's
So
not
she had
big.
everything against her.
Yeah, she's not large. She's not small. She's kind of
Can't be around
medium-sized.
chickens. Can't be around cats. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. But she landed, and she's gonna do great.
Finally.
Yeah.
Willow was one of those dogs that came from that woman that had cancer out up in Decorah or
2 of the ugliest little doodles I ever
Whatever
did
it
see.
was.
Yeah.
Willow and Al Bundy both
Yeah.
got adopted these past 2 weeks, and Al Bundy had the human lip situation going on.
His eyeballs alone, I believe that he should have been a different Bundy.
Tempo.
Oh,
was a
that was
psychotic
Yes.
breeder release.
That's the one that I had to borrow, or I didn't borrow him. I was gifted Mario's sweatpants over
sweatpants
because
for it.
he peed and pooped me.
Silhouette was another. Tempo was what did Tamara say? Their 24th.
Yeah.
Their 24th foster that they've adopted out.
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. So
Yeah.
they've been with us. I would
Pretty
say
much from the
like
beginning.
6 months in, I think
Yeah,
they came on.
very early.
So they've been with us
They
for
were
2
our
years.
very first foster that wasn't known to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so about one a month.
Yeah.
Well done.
Wild.
And they vacation a lot
Yeah.
too. So
They do awesome.
Silhouette was another black dog
Mhm.
that Natasha had, right? Natasha?
Yeah, I think we talked about the intake last time with
Yeah.
the kind of crummy situation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Stumpy was the
Stumpy was owner release.
short leg Aussie.
Yes,
What
it was an Australian Shepherd Dachshund.
Dachshund.
And it looked exactly like that.
It really did.
Yeah. But
Very
in and out.
weird. Munchie.
We got him in on 420. I don't know what more you want from me on the name, but yeah, he was a little Chihuahua.
Was it a Chihuahua?
Mhm.
Okay. It couldn't have been. We have not had a Yorkie for a hot minute, and I'm just gonna say that out loud because I don't mind them.
Yeah, we would like to have
I would like a-
6-pack of Yorkies and a pound.
Honestly, I would take a Pom at this point.
Yeah. A
Really
Yorkie, a Pom. We're getting some more Chiweenies. It's been a while since we've had a pack of Chihuahuas, so.
Tippy Hendren.
Tippy Hedron was another owner release, a little Maltese poodle thing. They had 700,000. Jennifer at Jet and Monkeys fostered that one.
Right.
And so Tippy was a shop dog for a short while, had about 7,000 applications, and went
Easy.
home. Yeah.
Kimber.
Kimber, oh, I forgot that one went out already. That was that little puppy that Courtney found who knows where.
That just showed up out of nowhere. That was kind of a weird deal.
Yeah, well, she found a lost dog, returned it, and then another dog that looked just like the lost dog she found got sent into us. It was weird. It's like they could have been litter mates almost. Anyway, off to her own home.
Nyx came in from your
In my aunt's
aunt.
lead, yeah.
Mowgli. It was a
Poodle.
Marissa.
Little poodle, black poodle,
Ugly little thing.
hideous.
Larry went to
We talked
Jenny. We
about,
talked
yeah.
about that, and Tony Danza.
Yep. So,
Last and least,
least, most, we'll call this the top adoption of the week if we must. Only because, thank flippin' dog, Holly finally failed. Jeez
finally,
Louise. I've been waiting.
finally. My parents don't even know yet, and they won't know for a while because my mom is like at least
Really
a year
behind.
behind on podcasts.
My friends keep saying, like, but I want to listen in order. I was like, there's no order to this. Listen to the newest one and then go back.
By the time my mom hears this, Otter will have been here for
And he'll have
several
a
months.
stocking at Christmas.
Yeah. They may have an inkling because my dad was over the other day and Otter was out on the deck and I said, Otter, tell Grandpa that you need a ramp because he's missing one eye and he's completely blind in the other eye, so he's essentially totally blind. And he can come up steps. He's figured out how to come up all of the steps that I have everywhere, and he's figured out the dog door in and out, but he has not yet got the gumption to go down steps.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
Yeah.
I get it, but it's kind of a pain in the ass for me.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I called Dad Grandpa the other day, and so he might have put 2 and 4 together and got 8. But anyway,
Oh, he's so perfect. And we're going to do a DNA test.
Harry Otter is here to stay.
Yes.
And it took 2.5 years, 2 years and 4 months
She
for
failed.
Holly to finally fail.
Thank goodness. I was feeling alone in the world.
He is such an asshole too, though. That's the thing. It's like he's such a little prick. I've sent you multiple videos of him,
But every
he's
time I'm like,
"Urgh."
I like it. I
He's
think
just
it's
so
funny.
grumpy. But he's grumpy because he can't see, so
And-
he doesn't know what's coming at him. He doesn't
Yeah.
know if he's, getting ready to get shoved off a bed or getting ready to be hugged and kissed on. But when I come home now, he is excited and he gives me a couple kisses here and there, and he's figuring it out. But
Oh my gosh. You have a type, I don't know what it is.
yeah, I don't either, honestly.
I'm pretty predictable, I feel, but
He's a good kid, but yeah, I have no idea what he is. He came in supposedly as a min pin poodle. I do not see any poodle in him at all.
and I certainly don't see any min pin. Both of them have like a long, sharp nose. And
I only see the min pin in the coloring.
which people always say that,
Which is
but
bullshit.
Chihuahuas have that coloring. Schnauzers
Yeah.
have that coloring. Yeah, no.
So I've ordered a DNA kit. It'll be here Wednesday because I do the Econo delivery day.
You get a couple cents of
Well,
credit.
I don't need shit tomorrow morning,
Right. I did do an overnight delivery because it was the same price for some slip leads because I'm out.
I think the overnight delivery is great, and I think it probably gives somebody a job. It gives
Yeah.
somebody. I know that
Well, it's getting delivered between 4 and 8 a.m. Like, somebody's got to do that stupid delivery.
So here's the thing about that side quest. I live out in the middle of nowhere. If I lived in town,
Right.
I wouldn't feel so bad.
We have an Amazon
But I
warehouse
live-
down the street. They are
Yeah.
just coming over.
I live out where the banjos play. You know what I'm saying? So to put some little kid, girl, female, young female, I don't know, young male for that point of the matter, to make them come out into the middle of nowhere at 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I live on a dead end dirt road, literally in the middle of nowhere. Like, I'm not gonna do that to them.
Will they even do that at your house? Do you get
Yes.
that option? Oh
Yes,
my-
I mean they'll come
Right.
whenever.
I
But
should-
I'm not gonna say it needs to be here between 4 and 8 a.m. Like, there's nothing that important. If it's that important, I'll go get it myself.
That's true.
You know what I
In my
mean?
defense, I will say, no pet store carries slip leads. None of them. You can't find them
There
at the
are
store.
some things that, yes, I
And-
absolutely need this tomorrow, and that's what
Yes.
this is the service that I pay for, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But 9.5 times out of 10, it can wait until normal freaking hours, and it can wait until Wednesday. Like, I
Sure.
don't need a DNA kit tomorrow between
No.
4 and 8 a.m.
I am rolling the dice on my slip leads though because
I'm not even up
I'm
at 8
gonna go. I'm gonna go meet a transport from Texas at 6 a.m. tomorrow, and I was otherwise gonna have to use the handle of a leash, flip it around.
Which is fine.
But it'll be
anyway.
alright. Anyway, so
So we're
yeah,
gonna do a
I'm gonna
DNA
do-
test on Otter.
I
We're
think
taking bets. If
I'm
you'd
gonna
like to
say
place
it
a
out
bet,
loud.
send me a message.
Only one of these things I'm gonna list is a joke. I think that he is a Chihuahua I think he's a Yorkie. I think he has Schnauzer. I think potentially Maltese. And lastly, Pit Bull.
Oh my god.
The Pit Bull, you might think is the joke, but every dog that has a crazy DNA test has some sort of Pit Bull or Staffordshire Terrier in it. Also, he's only 8 pounds, so I'm not imagining a lot. But I'm talking like a 1% situation.
Yeah, he's 8.5 pounds. Supposedly he came in at 7 years, but my vet clocked it more like 9 because he had 27 teeth extracted.
Yeah.
But that's,
If
I
you
mean,
went to
that's a
7
lot
years,
of like dental neglect.
right.
So
True.
whatever. I don't know. He's like a cotton ball on toothpicks.
Yes.
But his little fuzzy Grinch feet, I'm gonna put some Karen in there.
Yeah, maybe. I think people say that a lot when they see that look to them. But if you ever
If you
pet a
felt
Karen
it,
Terrier,
you'd understand. It's not coarse, but it's not.
it's like a Chorky. I think
Maybe.
it's Chihuahua Yorkie majority, personally.
Because Stanley's half Yorkie, and his coat is not anything like this kid's.
Every Chorky I've ever
He
had looks
reminds
like
me of that 95-year-old woman that's in the nursing home that gets her hair done every year or
And
every
it's
week.
see-through.
I'm sorry, like every Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like like cotton candy.
a bouffant,
Yes.
but it's
On her
see-through.
head. Yes.
Because it's really fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's this kid, but it's just his body, not his legs.
Well.
If you'd like to submit a vote,
Do so by donating
send it to
$1.
us.
Yeah, and it takes forever for that to come back. It's the most horrible wait. But anyway,
How
I'm
long
excited.
does it take?
A few weeks.
No.
Yes, they send you a notification when you're at 2 weeks waiting.
Oh my god.
So then you're just checking your email every 2 weeks until they finally send you when you get to check it.
Well, that gives us more time to put it out on Facebook.
That's right. Well, you got to take an adoption photo so I can post it. Cause
Speaking of Stanley,
oh my goodness,
we had such a great time on Saturday. Did we
did.
talk about this on our last podcast?
I don't know that we mentioned it. No.
Okay, so
We might.
if you have been listening to us for a while, if you haven't, we did an episode with our friend Nadia who does trial dogs,
Yeah.
and she does this thing. She does a lot of things. But she does
All
this-
the canine athletics.
Yeah, she does this one thing called barn hunt, which is where they take a rat, a pet rat, not a feral rat, a pet rat, and they put the rat in a tube, and then they hide the tube in some hay bales, and then your dog has to go into the pen and find the rat.
So there's, I think, 4 or 5 tubes.
Essentially.
And
It depends on what class you're in.
okay.
Like novice class, there's like 1 tube, 1 rat.
Yeah.
The next class, there might be 3 rats. And in the master class, there might be 5 tubes, but only 3 of them actually have rats in it.
Right. So there's fake tubes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's tubes that just have litter in it and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a lady in Ankeny that does this barn hunt thing, like,
Quite a bit.
a lot, obviously. And she was having a training and practice
You could rent her
Saturday.
ring to try it.
for a half an hour. It was like $20. So when Nadia had come onto the podcast and told us about all this, I was like, oh my god, Stanley would freaking love this.
Yeah.
He would lose his freaking mind over this. And at the same time, my dad has a Chihuahua who loves to kill moles. And so I thought she would also love this. This will be something fun that Dad and I can do together. It'll be a great time. So I was just waiting for one of these practice sessions to come up to sign up for, and it finally came up. And so, like 2 weeks ago, I signed up for it. And this whole last 2 weeks, my mom has been telling me, your dad is so excited about this barn hunt thing. He just can't stop thinking about it. He just has been reading all about it and reading all the rules and doing all the things. He just is so excited. It's all he's been talking about. He just cannot wait to go to this barn hunt thing. When are you
Really?
leaving on, all this
Oh
stuff.
my god.
And
Which is
I-
the disappointing part of this whole thing. First
I
of all.
had sent him the link to the thing, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, okay. Like whenever, if you want to go, I don't want to tie up your weekend, but if you'd like to go, I guess I could go.
Yeah.
Playing it real cool."
Yeah.
So I signed us up and played it up for like 2 weeks. I've been talking to Tater, his dog, about going to this barn hunt thing, and talking Stanley up about going to this barn hunt thing, and talking to Dad about reading the rules and all this shit. And finally the day comes, and we're like, okay. So we get to this barn hunt, and we show up like an hour early because we kind of wanted to get the lay of the land, kind of wanted to feel it out.
Like-
I thought it was going to be more of a like there was going to be a bunch of people there watching, like a kind of like a spectator thing.
Right.
But it was more of a
One-on-one.
like you sign up for your time slot, and when your time slot's over, you leave. So it's more like a one-on-one thing, which is fine. No big deal. So, but we did get to see the person before us run, and then the lady that runs this thing ran her dog to kind of show us
And
how.
we got to see a denied.
PBGBs.
Oh, we're gonna do an episode.
PBGBs.
PBGV.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich dogs.
Gosh,
I don't know
darn
what they
it.
are.
They're like a long-haired Bojangles with a job to do, and I am smitten.
It's a certain kind of breed of dog, and I can't pronounce it, so I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, they're so freaking cool.
Anyway, this lady has one of them, and
I got there, and she brought out this
Kara
dog, and I
loses
go,
her
"Is that a
fucking
PBGV?" She's like,
Kara just goes into orbit, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And this lady had just had a litter of puppies, and so, well, it's just two
puppies.
Two puppies in one litter, and so she brings out one of these puppies, and I thought Kara was going to melt into her driveway.
So cute.
Oh, my God.
It was just, I don't even know. And the puppy breath and everything. I normally don't get too crazy about puppies, but that was like, one, a breed of dog that I'm really obsessed with and I've never seen in real life. So that happened. I got to see the adult, and then she was like, "Do you want to see another one?" And I was like, "Sure." And then they bring out the baby.
It's like a Basset Griffon.
Yes, it's exactly what they are. It's Petite Basset Griffon Vedine or something is like how you say the name.
Whatever.
It's a French hunting dog. It's the smallest of the hunting dogs. They're like low to the ground, but it's like a short Griffon.
It's a breed only a mother could love.
Oh, no.
If I'm being completely honest.
No. It's because they got a beard and you don't like that.
So anyway, she runs her dog and shows me how it goes. I'm like, okay, cool. And then it comes to be Stanley's turn. And they have this like special tube thing it's like a wire tube so that the dog can see the rat go back and forth.
And decide if the dog is even interested.
And decide if the dog is interested. And actually the people that had the time slot before us came up.
With a rat terrier.
With a rat terrier. Zero interest.
Didn't even realize that a rat was a thing. Like the rat was running back and forth.
That
terrier
dog was terrified.
Absolutely did not want to be in the open air. I think maybe allergic to oxygen.
Had zero interest.
Nothing.
Which was ironic and hilarious at the same time.
Oh, it was really funny, and I was like, "Oh boy, we're in. This is strict." Because
I felt so bad for these people
because they drove all the way out there. Because it's kind of far
I mean, who
out.
knows where they came from?
Well,
I don't know.
it was
I mean,
far
they're in
for
Ankeny,
me,
but whatever. I mean, they paid their $20 like everybody else, and then
got
the
nothing.
dog gets there, and there's like, eh.
And the lady's just like, "No, he doesn't deserve to go in the ring." And I'm like, "Oh my god!"
I know
some of
was
the
like,
stuff she said.
She was not my favorite person. I'm just gonna be honest about that.
Well, we'll get to the part where she said
Yeah,
something where
I'll
was
tell
like,
you why she's really not my favorite person.
We have a moment. And Holly and I looked at each other, and I was like, "Don't do it." Like I feel how you feel.
Kara could read my mind.
I was like, "No." She's awful, but no.
So, anyway, it comes to be Stanley's turn, and so I go get Stanley out of the car, and I bring him up, and they run the rat through the tube, and instantly Stanley's like he is on it. He is like locked on.
Just staring, wouldn't move.
He could not be deterred.
No, he at one point raised his leg up like a pointer. He pointed.
And for context, Stanley is like a 10-pound.
Not even. He's tiny.
Yeah.
If it's 10, it's because of his muscle.
And he's 50% Yorkie and 50% everything else. Like I did a DNA test on him, but he's 50% Yorkie, so that tracks. But he was freaking on it, man. He saw that rat and he was
built
like
for this.
Locked on. And I'm like, okay, cool. And we ran the rat back and forth a couple times, and he was all over it. And
she goes, he made it through the first round of like letting him in the ring.
He can now be entered into the ring. I'm like, okay. And
tell about what you had to read before you came.
Yeah, so on our way to this thing, which Dad and I had another errand to run before we went there, so we had some time. I said, Dad, why don't you read all the rules to me? Because in the flyer thing, it said, if you're new, please read all the rules before you arrive.
Which was what, 22 pages?
25 pages.
25 pages.
25 pages of rules.
This is finding a rat in a haystack. That's the rule.
So,
there's rules.
The whole way there, Dad had this errand to run in Altoona. So all the way from my house to Altoona back to Ankeny, Dad is reading all of these rules. And we still didn't get through them all. And he was paraphrasing. And one of the rules is that your dog cannot eliminate within the trial ring. He cannot pee on a hay bale.
Every boy dog that has ever stepped 4 paws on the earth has peed on a hay bale.
And
what do you mean?
That was like halfway through these 25 pages, and I said, "Wait, read that part again. I don't think I heard you right." And Dad read it again. I was like, "Okay, Stanley's out. Like,
Yeah,
he's
gonna
out
pee.
before he even fucking gets there. Like,
Yeah.
this is over.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even give me my $20 back because he's not gonna make it."
No. Well, and so before we even did like the rat in the cage test and all of that, Holly took Stanley out to potty, and he peed like 4 times on like
At
every
least.
tree. Like
At least.
and he's tiny. How much bladder?
But that's what he does.
Oh my goodness.
That's Stanley.
Well,
That's why I said he's not gonna
I
make
think
it.
you can all see where this is going.
So, anyway, between the what's the word I'm looking for you introduction to the rat,
Yeah.
and actually going into the pen, I went and took him potty again.
Yes, 4 more peas, 4 more
At
trees.
least I took him to all the trees in the yard, all the bricks in the yard, all the things. Potty. He pottied everywhere. I'm like, okay, cool.
Can't be anything left.
So we walk into the ring and we do the thing. You have
And
to stand on a certain
There's
spot.
rules. You can't
and-
take your leash in, all the things.
And the judge, quote, judge has to say, you may begin when you're ready, and then the dog has to run, quote, naked, so no collar, no leash, no nothing, and you have to put the collar and the leash in a bucket or outside of the ring or in your pocket. I mean, I'm not lying to you when I say the rules are...
She talked for like 3 minutes
exorbitant.
about that if you wanted to put the leash in your pocket, you could not have any piece of the leash sticking out of your pocket. The whole thing had to be in the pocket.
It's a whole freaking
like,
thing, man. And so...
All rules are made because of somebody else doing something.
Exactly.
You're like,
That's what I told Dad when we were in the car. Is like, you realize they had to make that rule because they had ran into, like, you can't have a smart device on you in the trial.
Because somebody had
Because
like
someone had done
with
it and done some sort of signaling to their dog, to their smart device, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we got about 20 seconds into this whole
and
deal.
he was on it. He was going to get one.
He was doing really good. He was going and he was sniffing all the hay
jumping
bales.
up on the hay bales, not afraid of any of them or anything like that.
You have to jump up. You have to go through a tunnel, the whole thing. He was doing great. And but that was like 25 seconds in, and then he went to pee on a bale.
And Holly's face, I couldn't see what he did because he was on the other side of the hay bales. She looks at me and she goes, and they had a spotter behind her, and the spotter goes,
"Oh, flag."
He lifted his leg. And Holly goes, "Well, did anything come out?" And old Beatrice came in and she touched the hay bale and she was like, "It's wet."
It's wet. I'm like, okay, no.
He's a Yorkie that has peed 8 times before this.
Honestly.
It maybe was 3 drops.
So I was like, okay.
And she ripped that ring apart, took the hay bale out.
I mean, I'm not lying to you.
Did you pay her the $20?
Yes, there might have been 3 drops of pee.
Maybe.
Not even on the side of the bale, like on the
below
floor
it.
Below the bale. Because Stanley's 6 inches
3 minutes
tall.
left.
Anyway.
So anyway, she rips the thing apart, pulls
$20,
out everything, sprays everything. She had to pay an extra $20 because her dog peed on the hay bale.
And then Stanley, and I said, okay, so now what? She goes, oh, he's done. He's done for the day. He can't run anymore. I'm like,
he got kicked out of the bales.
My family farms for a living, and we specifically bale hay and straw. And I'm here to tell you, there ain't no flippin' freaking way that bale of straw costs her $20. There ain't no way.
Should have offered her to provide unlimited hay bales for a season so that Stanley could pee on whatever he wants and find the rats.
I mean, here's the thing. I felt bad for Stanley because he didn't know. This was supposed to be a training and practice thing. Like a
bonding
intro
thing for you
to
guys,
it, whatever.
And, yeah.
And I just felt bad for him because he was like doing so well, and he just immediately gets yanked out of this situation, and we don't get to go, like, okay, I'll pay you. Let him pee on the whole freaking thing.
Like, let him find a rat.
And let him figure this out.
Right.
I don't give a shit.
So then Holly asks, like, okay, well, obviously he's going to be really good at this. How do I get him to not pee on the hay bales?
Mm-hmm.
Before she even answers, at one point, she called Stanley a bad dog. And at that point, internally, I was like, I've killed you. How dare you? He just had a tiny whittle, and he is not a bad dog, and he was in an outdoor environment in a garage filled with hay. What dog wouldn't, for the first time, pee on that hay bale?
Right.
I think she's just making money on hay bale peed. Anyway, so then after that, Holly's like, well, how can I stop him from doing this again? And she goes, oh, well, I'm going to give you a garbage sack full of hay.
No. Before that, she goes, you load him. This was wild to me. honestly. I was a little like, this is about the time I was like, I don't think I really want to be a part of like
This sport.
the sport side
Yeah.
of
Cult?
it.
This
Like,
cult?
It is kind of.
she
a
was
cult.
like, you're gonna load him up on something really salty, and then you're gonna let him drink all that he wants, and then you're gonna take him outside and put a hay bale out in your yard, and when he goes by, you're gonna
Right.
walk. You're gonna purposely walk him by the hay bale, and when he goes to pee on the hay bale, you're gonna reprimand him. And I'm like,
she's
I'm not
interacting-
doing that.
And then,
I'm
no,
not
and her
gonna do
face looked.
that.
Yeah, her face looked at me. I looked at her, and I was like, well, first of all, you're not doing that. And
We
second
gotta
of
get
all,
out of
do
here.
not yell at this lady. So she's like, well, go ahead and take him back to the rat, and they were letting him. And then at this point, you know, at some point during the time, Tater,
Kara distracted him.
yeah,
Distracted her.
I did, and she was like, oh, do you want to see some more PBGVs? And I was like, yes, I do.
I want to get you out of this.
I want to get you away from Holly after what you just said about the hay bale. And so I go take her inside, and she shows me. Oh, it was really cool, actually. They had a whole bunch of different ones, and they had all different colorings.
Yeah.
And she was telling me all about them, and I got to play with the puppy some more, and that was fine. I walk back into the house, and here's the level of barn hunt mayhem we're dealing with. Floor to ceiling, wall to wall, down the hallway, entire walls in this place, which is a clean, nice house.
It was a very nice ranch style.
Yeah.
I mean, probably good 2,500 square feet.
Yeah.
Don't say hay bales.
Worse. Ribbons. It's worse than this studio, covered in rip wrap all over the walls, and up, like, overlapping dog ribbons. Like, that's how many times they have done this. So
And
much
earned
so
ribbon.
that they have, you can't see walls. And I was like, oh man, she goes, well, I think you can tell, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like looking around, I was like, play it cool, play it cool. This is normal, it's totally fine. This is just a place where people live, covered top to bottom in ribbons.
You know what? I think it's wonderful. I think that, like, people like Nadia, who I love, you know, this is something that they are very passionate about.
Yeah.
And they are very much okay following a very, very, very specific set of rules. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not built that way. I'm just, you know, rules and me and you just don't really apply. Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
But so
You should start the open class of rat hunt.
The P class.
Here's the thing. I told Dad on the way home, and so my dad dog trials border collies, at least he used to, and now he runs
He brings
the sheep for the dog trials for the Iowa State Fair. So he's in the back pen, like running the sheep for it. So he's been in the trial world for a long time.
Yeah.
And I just told him, I said, you know, and the trials for barn hunts, like the nearest one is Fort Dodge, and then there's one
you
in
have
like
to really travel to do this.
there's one in like Makokata, and then she said the next one is in like Topeka, Kansas. I
Yeah.
said, Dad, this was fun, and I think Stanley had a great time, but I'm not driving to. I'm probably not going to drive to Fort Dodge, to be
Right.
honest with you.
We were going to drive to Fort Dodge before we had our first-hand taste at the ground level.
Sure as shit not driving to Topeka, Kansas, because the actual time that you're in the pen is 2 minutes. I am not driving Stanley to Topeka, Kansas
For 2 minutes.
to go into a run for 2 minutes or multiple runs over a weekend. I don't care if he's in the pen for a total of 20 minutes. I don't give a shit.
That's insane.
Like I'm just not. That's just not me.
But I
That's,
feel the
that is
same
for
way.
other people, and that's cool. I support it. I support your journey. It's not for me.
These are the same types of people who have kids that do sports,
Oh, yeah.
travel sports.
Oh yeah. No,
So, like,
I'm not here for that
travel
either.
ball, you know, they go play. Two of my
I
partners
got big
at work,
opinions about that, but I don't.
I
I
know.
don't profess them because I don't have children, so
I
it's none of my
profess
goddamn
them.
business.
But I have two of my partners at work. They both have children who are very heavily into sports, and they travel
It's wild to me. Honestly.
everywhere, thousands and thousands.
I've
and
got
thousands
nephews
of
that are in
dollars.
it.
It's bonkers to me.
Yeah.
So as a dog owner, I'm crazy. I'm a crazy dog owner. I do a lot for my dogs.
Yeah.
But I won't do that.
That song was in my head.
So
We're really vibing tonight. I
Yeah.
like it.
here's the beautiful thing about this barn hunt thing, though. The tubes that these rats go in are stupid simple to make.
Yeah,
I can make one for like maybe $12.
Right.
Go to the local hardware store.
it's just
It's
PVC.
a It's a 4-inch PVC, 2 end caps, and 2 screw-in or the drain plugs in.
Drill
Cool.
a few
Fine.
holes
Yeah,
for breathing.
and there's YouTube videos where there's specific measurements and all this bullshit. Whatever, that's fine. My family, my brother, my dad, me, we bale hay in the summertime. We have hay mows. We have barns full of hay.
You can
full of
actually
loose
do
hay,
a barn hunt
full
in
of
a
straw,
barn.
full of shit. I mean, like a legit barn hunt
Which, by the way, I need
in
to
a barn.
interrupt because the barn hunt itself that we went to was in
A
the garage,
in a garage.
of a ranch-style home.
Right.
Which probably already had peace.
For sure.
I think people would go wild over doing a barn hunt in an actual barn.
And you would pitch this as the elite of the elitist dogs.
Yeah, because you have to get past all the
You can
smells.
pee
Yes,
anywhere.
You'd have like the
That's what I
challenge.
kept saying.
There's goats,
Absolutely.
there's chickens, there's sheep, there's
This is your smell.
right now
Go get
there's
this smell.
What if
placentas everywhere.
I've been thinking,
Lambing season.
oh my god. I have been thinking
there's
about
horse hooves
what
everywhere.
to name our unsanctioned barn hunts. The no bullshit barn hunt. You know?
Some bullshit barn hunt.
Yeah. A little bullshit barn hunt. A little sheep shit barn hunt.
It's gonna be great. But so here's the thing with the rats. You can rent rats from this lady.
Underground.
She's got a rat rental.
It's like $25 a week or something like that for a rat. Or actually, the other lady that was there, she goes, well, like the ARL has rats that they adopt out all the time. That they try to get rid of them all the time. Furry Friends also. I looked on their page the other night. They have like 6 or 8 rats right now.
And when the rats aren't in the tube for 20 minutes, they're living as a pet.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like they're not.
I'm gonna have my nephews take care of them.
Yeah, no cruelty.
I'm sure
or anything.
my brother will love that.
They don't care.
You were talking about
That's a
having
good one.
banjos and everything playing.
Love that.
Oh my god, I could get a banjo band to come out and play as entertainment prior to the barn hunt. Or after, as a
Supposedly they already
celebration.
live out in her neighborhood. They're just playing away.
Go
That's
down
true.
by the river and do a hoot and holler, and they'll come out.
Backwoods banjo barn hunt.
Backwoods barn hunt.
This
Love
is
it.
our next fundraiser.
Actually, know a guy that my dad's neighbor that plays the banjo. Anyway, all that to say, I don't want to.
I'm glad we experienced it.
I don't want to shit talk these people. That wasn't my intent.
They are
I
obviously.
felt like they maybe could have done a better job about being more welcoming to the sport for a first timer.
Yeah.
But I understand why they have the rules. I understand why they're
Just
very
so
like
strict for the people, like the intro. I think.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
yeah.
my feedback.
And I get it, and I respect it, and that's cool.
But why couldn't he finish his run?
Probably
and
wouldn't
then
be-
you
probably
paid
won't be
for
back,
like
though.
number of keys at the end. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Anyway, but I love when people are passionate about things regardless of what that is. That always makes me happy. Like if it's a nerd thing, if you like Star Wars, cool. If you're really passionate about it, that makes me happy for you. You know, if you guys remember Jeff, who was a doodle that we had as a puppy
Yeah.
that got taken in by the crisis canines of the Midlands or Midwest or something like that. He got his assignment. He's doing great. He hasn't been kicked out of crisis canine school. He, in fact, was hired to be the crisis response canine for the Iowa Department of Homeland Security.
Wild.
So he's going to go to, moments of crisis and help calm people, and he's going to have all this training. And there's a picture of him they sent laying on the floor with the kids in his foster and handler's home. The handler is trained to train him to do this work specifically. And this dog just came out of rescue.
I think that's amazing.
It's so
I think it's going to be great for these people that are in crisis. But also, if I am in the middle of a crisis, like what about these people? Are we talking like an apartment complex fire?
I don't know what the Iowa Department of Homeland Security does. So
Well-
that'll tell us what type of crises they're working with here.
Like if they're responding to in a situation where somebody
So-
might have lost their dog in a
Oh, no.
crisis,
So I
and
think-
then this dog shows up to comfort me,
True.
I don't, that might be a little triggering.
Well, I think a big part of this was like schools and school
Oh,
shootings.
yeah.
And
You had
like,
mentioned that.
Yeah, that type of thing. Like
Okay.
that is
Cool.
like a big part. I don't know if they go to like if my dog just died in a fire and you're gonna bring me a puppy to like try and make me feel better, get out of my face.
Yeah, but no, I definitely get where like in a mass shooting, which that's awful that we even.
Oh my god. But it's a need. They just had a school shooting scare at a not that far away from us Iowa school today that they had. I don't remember what the town was, but it was in Iowa, and it was they were concerned and they the
Well, they just had
lockdown.
one in Perry last year too. That's not far away at all.
Right, that's true. The Iowa Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management focuses on preparing for and responding to various emergencies and disasters in the state. So we're talking like, I guess, tornadoes,
Flooding.
tornadoes. Anyway, there will be an adorable scruffy dog named Jeff there to help
At a
someday.
crisis near you.
In a crisis near you.
Last but not least, we have a bit of good news. If you recall, we had a little dog called Roo, or Rooster, that was rescued from the Winterset Sale Barn about a year ago, a little over a year ago maybe. One of my friends gave me a call and said she had attended the sale barn. She runs a sale barn. I don't know. She has some connection to the sale barn. And this dog got left behind after it didn't sell. And so we took it in, and this guy adopted it, and he happens to work at Shields, and he's kind of upper management, I believe. I don't know what his exact title is.
He manages the West Des Moines Shields.
Yeah. Like he's above the below and below the upper, right?
Yeah, there we are.
Right in that nice little sweet spot.
Just like that.
And every year, that level of associate gets $500 that they can donate to any nonprofit of their choice. And last year, he pooled together him and a couple other of his
Do you remember what we got last year?
coworkers for $3,500
Nice.
total.
Wow.
So him and 6 other people went together.
Yeah.
This year, he got 9 of them to pool together. So we have $4,500 being donated from Shields.
Really recruiting over there. I like
and
it.
it's all because of this little kid, this little
Roo.
freaking
Just a mutt.
Roo. What was he even?
They said that he was some
Like a. They said Jack Russell, I think.
No, they said
at the
some sort of
beginning.
terrier that was like very specific, and I was like, well, that's not what that is. Fox terrier. I was like, that is not a fox terrier.
Yeah, it just says terrier on our intake.
Yeah.
All of that to say, we're very thankful for Shields.
Yes,
Please
we're so
support
excited.
them if you're in the market for any, fishing, hunting, outdoor gear / any sports gear. I know they got a ton of Iowa State stuff, ammo,
dog toys and accessories.
fudge, dog toy,
Shoes.
all the things.
That's
Shoes,
the only things I look at when
outdoor
I go
wear, all kinds of stuff. So check them out at Jordan Creek.
there. Yes.
And we will be accepting a check from them real soon
Yes.
for $4,500.
Very excited. And Holly, I think, was just telling me that our bills for this last month were like $20,000 or ahead of that. So it'll go to good use.
Yeah, I was, I do the monthly reconciliation. I was like, ooh, that was a hot month.
The big one.
we had quite a few intakes, and we'll talk about the Frenchies too. And so anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, that money will go to good use. So thank you very much, Shields. Thank you to Rue and everybody that was part of that story.
Yes, well, Rue's family actually was featured. Mitch and the Petit family is who adopted Rue, but they were featured in like a City View. Like people and their pets situation. They emailed us and they said, "Do you have any adopters that would be like good to feature?" And I was like, "Well, boy, do we! We've got little Rue, and it's a great story where he came from and all the things. So
he's a super cute
it's just
kid.
been a great land, you know."
Yeah. We couldn't be happier for everybody involved.
And really thankful for their support and continued support of the rescue. So, anyway, we'll get to work on building our unsanctioned barn hunt. And
where you can pee on all the bales.
Pee anywhere you want. Human or dog, pee wherever you like. Just keep your hot dogs hidden, okay?
Until then,
we'll figure it out.
Oh my dog.
What I mean when I see, what I see, what I feel, when I dream, when I be, I'm a freak, what up? Oh, what up? Everybody look at me when I'm free, when I feel, what I see, when I do it, I'm a freak, what up? Oh, what up? Say what we got, it's hot to spot, give up the drop, see what we got, do what, we got to go, the body flow, too hot to show, the front row, we won't stop.